But again, you don't speak Arabic. You never to do.
Shukran. That's the only word I
Man,
know.
this is very low rate. If after
I know,
40
I
years,
know.
is, you know, only
I know,
shukran.
please don't blame me.
اللي على اليمين دول ضيوفنا دان وجوردن، 2 من أوروبا. اللغة العربية مش لغتهم الأولى ولا من البلد. شقوا طريقهم في السمسرة العقارية بدبي. هيحكوا لنا ازاي ابتدوا كاريرهم هنا في العقارات وايه النصايح لو حد عايز يبدأ كارير زيهم. بس تنويه هام قبل ما نبدأ، خلينا نأكد ان البودكاست ده لا يمثل اي شركة او مؤسسة، بل يمثل فقط ضيوفه كأفراد مستقلين، وبنحط خط تحت مستقلين، لذا وجب التنويه. يلا شدوا كرسي وهاتوا ورقة وقلم وكاريركم أخضر.
أهلا بكم حلقة جديدة كاريرك أخضر. A very interesting episode today. It will be mainly in English. I will say the introduction in Arabic and then I have to switch to English. I have two special guests. I know them in person before bringing them in on the show. They were very kind to accept it and be with me in it. I will take you through the knowledge that we have so far on this business, which is the real estate business in Dubai. This is a significant business in this country. Only in Dubai last year in 2024, $500 billion dirham have been spent on real estate. This is the actual transaction that happened in 2024 as per the formal statistics. This is 30% almost increase versus 2023. It was mixed between villas and flats, but it shows you the potential, the huge potential that's coming in this city and how it's really evolving year on year. What was very interesting and really grabbed my attention, that all the brokers that I have dealt with since I came in this country, none of them is Arabic. Or most of them, I can say none, most of them, they are not even English speaker as a first language. And definitely, some of them came here only for this job. So the simsar or the broker that we know in our culture that should be coming from the country or from the region or from the even the district to know the in and outs of the district, you will see people coming to Dubai to learn and do the job. They don't speak the mother language of the country, and definitely they were not living or in the country for 20 years or 30 years, or they were born here. They came to learn and do the job. I have today two great examples that I dealt with them personally. One, we will start with Jordan. Jordan is an English speaker, but definitely is not an Arabic speaker. He will tell us his story. So first of all, Jordan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, good to be
Karira
here.
Akhdar, I need to find the translation in English, but
Okay.
it means a blessed path for your career or some, or yeah, let's call it this way. I need to.
I should probably learn Arabic, you know?
Yeah, but it's not very important for you.
Yeah.
Jordan, the podcast will split into two parts.
Okay.
The first part, I want you to, it will be related to our, the people who are listening to us, who are interested to be a broker like you.
Yep.
And I will move the other part to the people who wants to have a quick glimpse about the real estate business in Dubai.
Okay.
So I will start. I want to kick it to get into the discussion immediately right
Yep.
away. I want to share first. I want you first to introduce yourself to the people who are watching us.
Yeah, so my name is Jordan. I'm from Leeds, which is in the north of England. I first came here in 2012. I've not always been in real estate. I had a previous life. But yeah, this is me in a nutshell.
So Jordan, you when you were in the UK, you were in the real estate business.
No, so I actually moved here straight after university.
Okay.
So I had jobs, but I didn't have a career before I moved here.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was in hospitality. So I moved here to be part of a restaurant originally.
And then the question that comes to everybody is, what made you to get your luggage and to pack your luggage and say, I'm moving to Dubai?
So I had a good friend of mine that was over here already. Only he knows the reasons he came. But I did economics at university, and I was supposed to be going into banking. My friend called me and said he needed help in a restaurant that he was running. And I said no 3 or 4 times. And then he ended up sending me a payslip. I was 21, sent me his payslip, pointed out there was no tax.
He convinced you.
Yeah, pointed out there was no tax, and I jumped on a plane, I think, within 2 days.
And then the second question, so you mentioned that you were coming from economical background. Okay, that's needed in this job. How did you get yourself ready to start this job?
So, like, my previous job was, I was an operations manager in hospitality. I ran venues. I ran multi-million-dollar venues for companies.
Yeah.
And so from a financial point of view and a data and a studying point of view, that was comfortable for me. So one of the first things I did was start looking at not a specific area, but real estate in general, at transactions, at sizes, and then at the actual processes required to complete a transfer. Because a lot of the times people just kind of walk in and go, I'll figure it out. But for me, I was already looking at these things before even stepping foot into my first office.
So I want to go through the journey with you.
Okay.
You made your mind thanks to your friend that
Yep.
I will move because of the tax benefit and the potential that you have.
Yep.
Then you moved here. At that point in time, there was no job on the real estate.
Correct.
How did you land on the job?
4 simple words: happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
I own property in the UK. I own property in Lithuania as well, which is where my wife is from.
Mm-hmm.
So property is something that I understood and that I had.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd been here for 10 years and never bought myself, and I never really thought as to why. I just automatically bought in other places. And when me and my wife were sitting down and looking at a career change for me, because we were looking at growing a family and I wanted to change, because I had the interest in it, I felt it was something I would be good at. On top of that, I'd had a few quite bad experiences with agents myself,
Okay.
one of which had originally put me off buying. And I thought, if this is done properly, there is money to be made for people, and people are crying out for an agent that actually looks after them.
Yeah. Then, Jordan, I want to move, for the interest of time, to another question. So if somebody coming, so you were in the country, when you get yourself prepared, you start building the knowledge.
Yep.
If somebody is not from the country and coming in, so he's looking for the job, so you mentioned that he or she needs to be looking for the online to find
Yep.
the job, to land on something.
Yep.
Any tip how to get prepared? So I come to the country.
Mm-hmm.
What should he or she be prepared with in order to get prepared for my job?
I get the question. I understand what you're trying to get at, but the reality is, with real estate, there is so much to learn. You need to get in. You need to get on the ground. You need to get into a company, because you're not going to start understanding how portals work, how reporting and analytics work, to do
The
viewings.
process.
You're not going to learn any of it. And if you do try and learn it all before, and then you join a company who does it a little bit different, not only are you having to learn, you're having to unlearn everything you did before.
Yeah.
There's the only thing that you can do
Yeah.
is to look at how different areas are, to see if you are suited to a specific area.
So I'm clear on this when it comes to the knowledge. It's a hands-on job. You
Yeah.
have to be on the ground to learn.
Correct.
That's very obvious. I had, for example, I was asking the question to another agent who was telling you, if somebody coming new to the country, he or she needs to have around 3 to 6 months of expenses, because it's a commission-based job.
Yep.
So if you don't have the money, and usually don't crack the deal from the first time, you need to be able to have a standalone life. You can, otherwise you need to be able to afford it. Otherwise it will not be doable.
That's fair. Like, I'd been here for a few years before I joined real estate. I didn't think too much of it, but yeah, for sure, especially in sales. You could sign a sales contract today and not receive the money for 4 months.
Yeah,
So you absolutely need to be comfortable. But the other thing is, from a mentality point of view, you're not moving to Dubai to have a party.
Yeah,
you're moving to Dubai
to
for
do
a
a job. Yeah, this is very important, because people think that it's a Dubai blink.
Yeah.
And how long it took you to crack your first deal?
4 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is the fastest I heard here.
But it was a rental. Not taking anything away from myself. I say that to my new agents all the time because a lot of people go, I've got a listing, but it's just a rental. I've got a deal,
Yeah, that's
but it's a
fine.
rental.
At least you crack
Rentals
a deal.
are good.
Yeah, at least it give you a lot of self
Exactly.
fulfillment that I can do the job.
And I focused only on rentals.
Yeah, and you focus only on rental.
For around 8-9 months, I only did rentals. And
Is there a specific reason for this, or only?
I was allowed to do both. And some companies, you can only do one or the other. And some people go straight into sales. I recommend rentals because they're faster moving. You learn more a lot faster. And you get the money faster because when you sign a rental contract, you're giving the agency fee check
So
straight
maybe
away.
this is again another tip. So if somebody coming better, you start on the rental versus the buying because you get the money faster than the buying.
It is my personal opinion.
This is your
but
personal
you could speak to 50 people and be 25-25, you know?
Okay, very good. So I think we are done from the first part, Jordan. Then I want to move very quickly to use the opportunity that you are with us today. I want to talk on the business itself. So if somebody buying today, so the fact saying over the last in 2024, their prices went up on the range of around versus the year before around 20%.
Yep.
So if you buy something versus the year before, it's a 20%. In some cases, even more. With the current situation, knowing that everything and with the main fuel with this, with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and then what happened after that in our region, a lot of people were coming to settle here in Dubai.
Yep.
Do you believe that the bubble will continue, or this vibe will continue in 2025 and 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say is I wouldn't refer to it as a bubble. If you look at the global index, we're not at high risk in Dubai.
Which index do you look at?
I think it's the global real estate index. I'm sure you'll be able to put a link at the end, but it's it kind of looks at every country in the world. House prices rather next to various different factors and which ones are at risk of a bubble and which ones are low risk. We're at the minute on a low to medium. Last year it was low, so it has increased, but we are not considered high risk at all.
So a lot of people you don't foresee in 2008 is hitting us again?
No. And the reason for that is yes, the prices have gone crazy over the last few years. But when you're comparing to the year before and the year before, wasn't that long ago that COVID was hit.
Yeah.
And so the numbers were crazy, but it wasn't until end of 2023 that we started going above 2018 prices.
Yeah, so I think what we need to clarify for the people, so for example, 22-23, the prices went up, that's correct, but it went up to be back to where it used to be 2018. So it was just restoring what had happened before. Exactly. It was sine wave, we are picking up again. Now it's going beyond the 2020.
Far beyond.
Yeah, but I wanted just to show that or to explain to the people when I say it's going up, yes, but it was going up to restore a base condition that used to be there.
Exactly. Okay. And it is going to continue going up, in my opinion. If you look at reports from companies like Knight Frank.
Another 20%, you believe?
No, I don't think we're going to see such huge rises. I mean, Knight Frank are predicting around an 8% rise for next year on average, or for this year rather on average.
Around 8%.
Yeah.
And Jordan, couple of tips for the people who are searching as we speak, especially if they are not in the country. How they do the searching process?
Look, you have portals. It's harder when you're not in the country. You do have portals to look at.
Anything specific in the portal? So, for example, I know it depends on the criteria what they are looking for. So, but let's call if somebody's looking for investment. Is it better to look for a villa? Is it better to look for small flats? Is it better to look for bigger flats?
In general, the best returns that you get are on studios and one beds in Dubai.
In Dubai, it's studios and one bedroom. So if you are offshore, or if you're not in the country overseas, if you want to invest, you can instead of one villa, for example, buy 2-3 studios or one bedroom apartments, for example.
Yeah, I mean, look, it depends on your risk appetite, and this is something that you need to do as someone that's looking to buy. Find an agent you trust. And that can be hard when you've not been here, but call different agents and speak and see who you get a feel for.
Guys, you can call me. I know Jordan for 3 years now, and I can confirm this. So I will not put your email, but I will leave it with me. I will pass it
for sure,
because it's something that I have tried it.
And the reality is, like, you need to ask why. Why are you investing? Are you investing because you want to see the highest possible ROI? Are you investing because you want a bigger capital appreciation? You will see that more in villas. Are you investing because you want to live there one day?
Jordan, the last question, what is the tip that you would give for somebody looking for a flat, aside that they need to learn math to switch from a square meter to feet, square feet? It's very, I don't know why everything here is square feet and inches. I have no
Divide
idea.
by 10.76. It's easy. In your head.
Okay, fine.
Look,
So.
if you're looking to buy a unit here, there's two key things that I would say. Number one, understand your why. Are you, like we just said, is it ROI, is it capital appreciation, or are you living there? Because that will vastly change where you should look.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that is key is understanding who you are working with. There are too many people, unfortunately, in this country that will not have your best interests at heart.
And then one last thing, sorry, I said this before, but one last question. What is the best area now? So, for example, people are saying JVC was the down with the highest number of transactions last year,
Correct.
for example.
Yep.
For this year, is anything potential thing that you would recommend, especially let's call for the people looking for investment, 1-bedroom studio apartments?
So if you're looking for something a little bit more long term, then somewhere like Silicon Oasis and Dubai Land is growing because the metro has just confirmed a stop there. Okay. So when that comes in 2028, now this is why JVC went big. People bought. There was nothing there. The roads were a mess. There was a lot of empty plots. And then suddenly they announced the metro and prices skyrocketed. Infrastructure massively grows it. So if you have a bigger risk appetite, somewhere like Silicon Oasis with a developer like Ellington, incredible.
Jordan, we are running out of time, but I'm really thankful one more time. I know that you are coming after a long day, so thanks a lot for making the time for us. I will keep your email with me.
Yep.
And then as you promise, you please kindly check. I will check. We will select whomever will be passing it, and then we will pass it to
For sure. I've enjoyed, and thank you very much for having me.
Thanks a lot, Jordan. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.
So I want first to start with everyone. First, I would appreciate if you introduce yourself.
Yeah. So basically, my name is Willem, or Daan. Dutch people call me Daan. I've been in the real estate now for around 2 years. I started in Dubai 4 years ago in hospitality. So I worked all my way up in the hotel industry. And now I'm working for a Dutch real estate company here, focusing on the Dutch clients.
Nice to meet you, Dan. First question that I have, Dan, for you. What made you to pack your luggages and move from Holland to here?
2 things. I didn't like the rain.
You didn't like the rain?
I was really tired of the bad weathers all the days. And the second thing was I really realized that the Netherlands, but also other countries in Europe, are trying to keep you small. So if you have big plans, it will be really tough to make them through. And
this is a very big statement.
And when I set foot on Dubai or in the Emirates in general, I realized that here is a land of opportunity. And it's tough, but that's why I packed my bags and moved to Dubai.
So if you, in one sentence, Dan, what was your background back in Netherlands? Hospitality?
Hospitality.
So you studied hospitality?
I studied the hotel management school as well. So since I was a very young age, I'm still young, but even younger, I was working hospitality. And that's also how I came up here in Dubai. So I did 2 internships here in Dubai.
For the people watching that would be a broker, we were just mentioning the number. We have more than 25,000 agents that are
still counting.
And they're still counting, exactly. How person listening to us would land on a job here?
I think you do need to have...
Or maybe you tell what you have done personally.
Well, basically, you need to have some type of personality if you want to be involved in this industry. Obviously, it's a service-related industry. I always compare it with hospitality because it's no difference from a service industry. We provide a significant service which we hope has enough value for the client in order to get money from it. The only thing that's changed is the product. In this case, is houses, properties. So make sure you do your background into the market. And how I end up in real estate is basically just when I was working in the hotel industry, more and more people came up to me with the question, I want to buy something. Can you help me? What are the good areas? Just before even really learning the business itself, I already knew all the areas and the prices around. And then obviously I saw the money that was possible.
You felt the demand.
They were pulling me into the industry. Yeah.
And then the question that next one then would be, how did you get yourself prepared? So you are working in the hospitality. I understood
Yeah.
you moved from Netherlands earlier to work, I assume, one of the hotels, for
Yeah.
example. And then after that, how did you start building? So you are not, your first language is not English.
No, it's Dutch.
You never came to Dubai before coming here to move to work.
No.
So how did you start? And you definitely dealing with customers from all over the world.
100%, yeah.
But again, you don't speak Arabic. You never to do.
Shukran. That's the only word I
Man,
know.
this is very low rate. If after
I know,
40
I
years,
know.
it's, only
I know,
shukran.
please don't blame me.
So, how did you start building the knowledge of the customer's nature first?
Yeah.
I'm sure you deal with Arabs, non-Arabs, everybody.
Yeah.
And having your English is not your first language.
It comes by practice, and I'm quite lucky because I've been in hospitality for quite some time, so I have experienced already a lot of different cultures. And in the beginning, you make a lot of mistakes, and some of them are pretty hard to make. But by doing it over and over again, you start getting to know people from different backgrounds and different cultures, and then you also it has to be a little bit in yourself as well, but you kind of adapt automatically on the culture or the person that you're talking to. Still, in every culture, people are also different. So within the culture, people are also different. So it's basically the soft approach you need to have first to see what type of person is sitting in front of you, and then it comes by experience.
But question more was then how you build the knowledge in the market. So, for example, when people asking you about a certain area or the project,
the knowledge about the market itself, not about the culture. So basically, you have to study. You really have to study. A lot of agents really think that they can come and join a company, and within the first week they will make a deal. And I've seen people calling sellers and telling them things about Dubai, but they only have seen the Burj Khalifa on Instagram. So really make sure you go into the area yourself, have a look around. Everything is online in Dubai. I mean, we have dozens of websites where everything is open and transparent. You can look up all the prices, all
this
the
is what I love about Dubai. The data is everywhere for everybody.
If you don't know some information, it's really your own fault because you can't blame anybody else. Make sure you do your own research.
Very good. So I'm clear how you made your decision, moving in, building the knowledge. How long it takes you to crack your first deal?
I was pretty fast on average. I did it within my first quarter, so within 3-4 months I made my first deal. Besides from the rentals, I made my first rental after 1.5 months, and then my first sale was within 3-4 months.
Let's call it an average, a month and a half to have your first. So you
normally what they say to you when you join in real estate, they say like, don't think that you will make any deal in your first year. So focus in your first year on building client relationships and getting the knowledge of the market. Okay. And then you build all your connections within your pipeline, and then the second year the deals will come. That's what I tell you, but realistically you need to make a deal within your first half of.
So this is a good point. So if somebody getting from abroad, how many and for not living in the country, he or she should have at least how many months of running cost in his
a year? Yeah, definitely.
So I heard a range of 6 to 6 months, 9 months.
I mean, Dubai is not that much more expensive than, for example, the UK or the Netherlands. You can make it as expensive as you would like to, but make sure, because you do want to explore. It is a new area. It is a new country. It is a new city. So you're gonna do more things that you wouldn't do if you were back home. So you're gonna spend more money automatically. In my case, I have a girlfriend as well. It costs money as well. I mean, you have to go dinner every weekend, or you have to go.
You don't have every weekend if you are not selling that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we will cut this in the podcast that your girlfriend is costing you money.
Okay.
Just good for you, so you can sleep at home. Okay, question that I have asked. I think we are clear on the process. I have only one thing. Yes. You mean with a lot of stereotype allowed the nationalities, so you deal with a lot of nationalities?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What are the typical stereotyping that you hear about nationalities?
I think it's more based on the stage where they are in life. You have let's say a bit of the elderly people that have gained significantly amount of monies with their own companies. They are a bit more relaxed. They really know what they want, so they have been in the industries for such a long time. They don't gonna ask you such a questions. They are very straightforward, and they are a bit, let's say, scared in how the processes are, because it's so different from what they're used to back home. Yeah. And these people need a bit more guidance, so they need a bit more support. I think those two.
So
are
it's,
the
it's
main,
what you're saying. Nationality is not really what matters. What matters here is more of which age phase you are.
Well, obviously you have the nationality differences, but I have seen also within a nationality such a big difference that I now basically see them as one big nationality, but I divide them in age and experience.
I love it. I think we are done from the first part. I will go then definitely. Last year we were just talking 2024, half a billion dirham.
Yeah,
Real estate that were bought in, and this is 20% more versus the year before. You think it will continue?
Yes, it for the next 2 years definitely, because you see not only in Europe but also in the States, it's shaking there. I mean, not only the economy, but people want to move. People want to, even people that would say 2 years ago, I'm never going to leave my home, are now considering new options. So for sure, the Middle East, and I'm talking about Dubai in general, people are going to come to Dubai now as a tourist, and then they're going to stay. Or then their neighbor has been there on holiday last year and they're telling only good stories, so now they're going as well. So you will see more tourists coming, which means the more tourists are coming to Dubai, the more people are trying to consider to stay here.
Do you think so it was 20% the year 2024 versus 2023. You think how much would be the percentage?
I honestly don't think it will have such a big increase as last year. I think last year was really the top of the mountain, but I do think we will have definitely some of the increase. Still in the off plan more than in the ready market. So definitely the new project has been launched. We see tons of sales going on there now.
It's a 1 digit, not 2 digits, I guess.
Yeah, and I do think that will go a little bit decreasing after 2-3 years when most of the areas have already the plots developed in the nice locations. But definitely for the next 2 years, it will still grow.
Then last question, so I didn't ask it before. If somebody moving into an assignment, which is a lot of expatriate here coming for, and they would buy or rent, you recommend for them?
For people from the Netherlands coming
to
Dubai?
No. We said it's one big nation.
Yeah.
So somebody's moving in. Is it better for them to rent, assuming that they afford both?
No, I would definitely say buy. If you can't afford it, and if you have the cash to buy a property, it's always better.
I assume they will do mortgage.
Oh, then I would say rent.
Not
no, don't put a mortgage on here because your property will increase in value. So if you can still rent in the first year, but if you buy, make sure you buy it in cash, and because banks would also slow the transactions, make your property less attractive for quick sellers, which you have a lot of them here in Dubai.
Okay.
Or quick buyers.
Interesting. Okay, I think I'm very thankful, Dan. That was very interesting. I'm thankful one more time for your time and being here.
It's been a pleasure.
I think we are good, and then we will continue, guys, this podcast. Please watch it, and as I promised, we will have you. I will not put your email just not to destroy your privacy,
No,
but I will keep it with me. If you may allow me, I will share it with 5 people they will share, and then I will pass it to you.
That would be great.
Thanks a lot, Dan. I appreciate it. Thank you.